Hi, I'm Jamie.
Hi, I'm Pete.
And we're from Chicago Dime. Hey everyone, this is just a quick video to talk about the making of our newest or latest release, Woman Like That. We did the same thing for our last one, Big City Blues, so we thought it was time to do a small chat about the making of this one.
It's a song I wrote quite a while ago.
It was a while ago.
And I didn't do anything with. And it was just hanging around for such a very, very long time. I don't know if I wrote it about someone in particular, but Jamie swears I did, and I can't remember who it was. But it's just a good, I suppose it starts off as an Austin tune, but it ends not as an Austin tune. And it is about that woman that you see that is just always going to take your breath away. And that's what all the lyrics are about. That's what all the song is about. As it was said in an article, a woman like that is every young man's dream.
Yeah, and I mean, it came about from when we first started to even do the EP. Last time we wrote stuff from scratch, and this time I said to Pete, well, what have we got in the back catalogue that we kind of like but we've never done? Even in our own projects, what we've done or recorded, something we've always wanted to record but it hasn't been there. And I've always liked this one, Mercy. From the first time I heard it, I just thought it had a nice hook to it. And I think that was the first thing I suggested was I wouldn't mind this one being on the EP. It wasn't sold as being the first track, but I wanted something of that kind of bit more of a rocky, upbeat type stuff.
So the whole song, every verse starts out with a woman like that. And as a bit of a surprise to me, Jamie actually used the melody of a woman like that throughout the whole of the song.
It's a nice hook of a riff, so I wanted to call back to it quite a lot, and I wanted to just bring it in bits and pieces to harken back and hopefully help reinforce that message of woman like that.
No,
hopefully.
It's a really good song. We enjoyed playing it live, and I think it came out really well on the EP.
I'd say for Deptford Blues, it came about that I wanted something that was what you consider traditional kind of blues, or something that most people associate with the blues, but not really wanting a traditional 12-bar blues that we did last time. And whenever we go drinking to my family's place, or on trips or something like that, at about 2 a.m, Pete, of course, will inevitably get the guitar out because, well, that's a story for another video.
I'm a guitarist.
And he essentially starts playing this riff, and I mean, it's very much like a combination of like a Manish Boy and Hoochie Coochie Man. And I turned around to Pete and I said, hey, write about when you go to Deptford.
Yeah. So Jamie gets invited to Deptford every year, and he declines every year. So his family asked me to go in his stead.
I'm pretty busy with work.
So his family asked me to go in his stead. If you listen to the song, it's pretty much a biography of what actually happened on the weekend. First verse is about me getting there. Second verse is about me being there. And the third verse is really about the camaraderie of being there. The best part of that weekend was really the night time with the big fire and the people hanging around and just really talking. I don't know if that came through, but yeah. One of my favourite lyrics in the song is 11 a.m, Doug hands me a beer, because that's what he did.
That entire story though is so Doug.
I don't think we actually initially wanted it to be an instrumental piece.
No, like most 12 bars that we write.
Yeah.
You know, it was never going to be the instrumental piece. It just became that when we looked at what we do in a set at live gigs, and we noticed that every 12 bar we did was sung, so it was very samey. And so we thought, well, it'd be nice to have an instrumental 12 bar at some stage, and conveniently enough, we needed an instrumental for this release, so we thought, well, this could be it. Let's do that 12 bar instrumental and kind of kill two birds with one stone.
I think you actually called me during the day and said you figured out an instrumental part to it.
Well, yeah, well, the melody actually, I originally wrote about the same time as we were starting to write all this stuff at the beginning of this year. I was starting up another band with a mate of mine that was more of a trad jazz thing. And the idea of that was just to do originals. And I'd actually written a blues tune and a melody. And then when that band kind of fell through and didn't move ahead, and I loved the melody so much that I went, I think I can slightly change it a little bit and it'll work over this song.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as soon as that happened, it just went and locked into place, and that was it, you know?
Yeah, it's one of the easiest songs for me. I don't solo on it. But we got one of our friends, one of our fill-in players called Tom Edwards on saxophone to do one of the solos. Did a great job. I really want to give him a shout out here. He's credited on the EP. Really happy with his solo, really happy with his input on the EP. And it just sounds really good. And it goes down really well live.
As the song kind of became what it became, I went, well, that works. Like, you know, the big game in town, the numero uno, head cheese, number one. And it really had that nice callback to Big City as well. So
I'm really happy to say that one of our friends, one of our network of the band Chicago Dime, a man called Dario Ogren, is on this track, and he plays an excellent saxophone intro and an excellent saxophone solo. Didn't know what to think when we thought that we were going to play this song. I came into it a little bit apprehensive because when we do it live, it's a very big song. It's a very emotional song, and it was a little hard for me to get a hold of in the studio. And seeing as Jamie has to track everything, I'll let him take it from here.
Dario was the last person to record, so we actually had no idea what feel it was going to create. And we might record it thinking one thing, but then when Dario comes in, it might flip it on its head. Let's just give that a shot and see how we go, right?
Exactly. There was a real different process in the vocal here. It was a far more gradual process throughout the verses, I should say. There was a level of vulnerability in the first verse. There was a level of a little bit more angst, and there was a level of a little bit more, I suppose, want and harshness in the last verse. And I believe, after having listened to Dario's input, he actually really added to all of those, I suppose, for the lack of a better word, moods of the song and the moods of the verses.
Well, I like how it seems a lot more, there's a lot more sex in it.
Yeah.
With
which is hard for me.
Dario's going to love this because, like, you know, he put the sex in this song. Originally, the bass player came back to me after he'd laid down everything and said, once the solo is in, the horn solo, I want to relay my bass part and get it to move along where the solo goes. But because I knew Dario was going to come in right at the end, last minute, I didn't want to get the bass player back in. I recorded a solo instead, brought the bass player back in and said, yeah, that's the solo. So, Matty, you play your bass to that solo, please. Oh, yeah, sure. So that bass line was actually played to a solo, which, isn't even on there. I'm happy with the fact that it's much more what we are today.
Yeah.
I feel that the last release was what we were back then.
Yeah.
Still trying to find our way in a little bit of everything. I like that this one is, even though there's less songs, it's much more of this is what we're going down. Like, you know, it's still blues. I've got no doubt about it. It's still blues.
On the whole, I just think it's as Jamie said, it's really where we are today. It's really where. It's a really good representation of what you would see if you saw us live. It may only be 20 minutes, but you'll pretty much see a great deal of that in a 3-hour show of ours.
Yep, and you can get your one digital only. If you come to our gigs, we have some physical copies. Just head on over to our website, chicagodime.com, and you can find links to where it's available on like Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and Google Play and all that kind of stuff.
Go to the website, go to our Facebook page. You'll see it all there. It's really good. I hope you enjoy. Please support Chicago Dime. How good did my hair look in my video? Seriously.
I didn't look. I want to look at hair. I stopped looking at the hair as soon as I could see it in the mirror.